You can now set the fore and aft cyclic cable bias. The locking assembly is a device that prevents the secondary sprocket from turning on the shaft. It must be installed according to these instructions to ensure that it will work properly. Handle the unit carefully to avoid nicks and scratches. Remove the anti-excursion ring from the top of the pulley and set it aside for now. Deburr the inside bore with Scotch-Brite to allow for a smooth fit on the shaft. Before installation, check all contact surfaces of the locking assembly. They must be clean and use some motor oil to lightly lubricate the assembly. This includes the screws and screw holes. Warning: never use anti-seize or any other similar lubricants. Back off all the locking screws. Remove two screws opposite from each other and insert them into the adjacent push-off threads. Turn them by hand until they make contact. This will keep the locking assembly spaced apart. Insert the locking assembly into the sprocket bore. If necessary, back off the locking screws more and tighten the push-off screws until it fits. This is a very close fit. After the locking assembly is inserted, return the push-off screws to their original holes. Lightly coat the secondary shaft with motor oil. Install the sprocket on the secondary shaft. Align the sprocket with the main sprocket using a straight edge as shown. When installed and all the bolts are tightened, the height of both sprockets should be the same. Be aware the rear sprocket will tend to climb from its original height when tightening the screws, so you may have to reset. The height is measured at the bottom of the sprocket's anti-excursion rings. When securing the sprocket to the secondary shaft, you must follow the procedure in the construction manual. The screws must be tightened with a torque wrench in sequence: 50 inch-pounds, 70 inch-pounds, 90 inch-pounds, and final torque of 120 inch-pounds. Follow the sequence and keep making the passes until none of the screws turn. Then go to the next torque setting. Check the sprocket height. Slide the belt carefully over the secondary sprocket. Check the tension. The proper tension will be when you push with an inward force of 5 pounds and an outward force of 5 pounds and measuring the total distance. The tolerance is 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch. To tighten the belt, add shims between the square drive tubes on the top and bottom of the secondary mounts equally. Shim stock can be found on E23 Card 1, Parts Card. The dimensions for the shims can be found on print E23-2000. Be sure to shim the upper bearing housing before you loosen the bolts. Belt tension tool. Check the belt tension. This process will involve trial and error, as several attempts will probably be necessary to obtain the correct tension. During your final secondary setup, you must secure the lower bearing to the shaft with Loctite 609 retaining compound and the lock ring. After correct alignment and tension is received, rotate the main sprocket a few times to check for smooth operation. The belt should track in the center of the sprockets. If the belt does not track properly, then check the secondary shaft is set up with the 0.1 degree tilt to the pilot side and 0.1 degree tilt aft. The small sprocket anti-excursion ring can now be installed. Use Loctite 242 on the 6 hex screws and install the ring.